What's up, fellas? We're back, and I am ready and rolling. So, today, pardon my English. Oops. Alright, today we are going to be watching the losers finals. Woo-woo. Alright, it is time. This timer, forget about it. We're going right into it. Oh yeah. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's turn that down. Alrighty. So, we have the up-and-coming CG Pro Chronoknight versus the longtime veteran UnseenOddish for third place. Now, I did not have the ability to look at the semis, any of the semi stuff, any of the semi spaghetti. But one of them was able to make its way. Sorry, I'm getting a bit distracted. I want a nice clean game, boys. Alright. You may begin. Oh. Ooh. Okay, well, we're being all official for this. We're assuming things. Anyways, we see Barrow and Sindel. So Oddish is gonna be playing us a Xemius deck sort of variant, whatever. And Chronoknight is playing Sindel Tempo with a little bit of a mind control spice with Kabonk Battle Body. This will be a very interesting game. If Chronoknight wins this is gonna solidify him as one of the top players. Because currently there's kind of three players dominating, and they have dominated for like the past like 2.5 years or something, which is Secret 27 and I'm on a time limit. Whoa. Okay. So yes, let me begin. So we have the up-and-coming Chronoknight, which has slowly clawed his way up through the ranks and positionings, and has solidified himself as one of the better players. And Oddish has been a long time vet, has won many tournaments, and yada yada yada. Unfortunately, okay, so we're seeing this going, and if Chronoknight wins this, will solidify him as one of the top players. If Oddish, on the other hand, if he wins this, that'll just prove his position as one of the top players. So stakes are for Chronoknight are pretty high, at the least. All right, let's get some other music stand up. I'm just going to classic Nintendo music. Woo woo. Alright, so we see an early opening of Dog from Chronoknight, which is going to set up some early zones. Chronoknight seems to really like his zones, and I think for Sindel in general, having plentiful zones is pretty helpful. Well, and beast too. Sorry, that's what I would. So my main point is Sindel really enjoys having beast. Just because it's a good, nice, solid statted 6-star, and as well as Dark Sprite. Like the two new ones just seem very fit for Sindel, just because it needs good, decently strong creatures. Anyways, we're gonna see Time Flash Portal take out this Ozakai for a moment, but Oddish is gonna put more permanent damage, even though Chronoknight has been swinging early. Attacked once and went through, and attacked twice, but Abandonment is gonna destroy that permanently, and Oza Block is gonna come out, basically just setting up a 2-card board and basically kind of taunting Chronoknight to come and clear the board so that he can get those things set up for Xemius. Because the main goal of Xemius obviously is to get the loop set up. There's a certain loop wanted from this. I gotta. Okay, how's it going? And we're gonna see Bombeak come out from Chronoknight. And another dog. Which I always think is interesting. Chrono just seems to have those dogs. And was able to clear the board, by the way, if you were wondering. But Oddish is just gonna simply throw out two squazes. One that's gonna be annoying because it's gonna kill something if it gets attacked. And another one draws a card. And worse for Chronoknight, both of these cards are gonna be added to Oddish's pool to set up Xemius. So basically, Oddish is just stirring the pot, just trying to speed it up a bit. And Chronoknight needs to be wary of this, because if Oddish's loop comes too soon, and assuming Oddish has Xemius in hand, like it could make some really big trouble. Obviously, Chrono was probably going aggressive that early on for a reason. Try to get those early points before Oddish starts to slow it down. So I see that. One thing he also has to be careful about, though, is Rewind Wormhole. I think Oddish might be playing that. Another thing that I'd like to note is Chronoknight and UnseenOddish have played this pad, like in the Swiss, and the deal is Oddish 1-2-1. So I think what's interesting about that is Chrono shows that he's very well capable of beating Oddish. It just depends on who plays better. And also, I think one thing that's difficult for Sindel is, especially once that Xemius comes out, it becomes a little more difficult to try to remove it. Not impossible. There's plenty of ways that Sindel has to remove big creatures, as that has become a big deal. However, one of those ways is being used on these simple lightning squaws, being KO, just to get this Bombeak to hit that instead of having to use dog, which is also going to be able to activate Bombeak and is going to set off for Wackoman to come in, and that's going to give a nice draw. So it's kind of even it out on both sides. Oddish gets an extra draw, and so does Chrono. Hopefully I don't get sued for this. I might get like demonetized or something. I hope not. You know what, I'm just gonna find here. Let me. This is good, but I feel like I'm more at risk when it's just straight rip music. I enjoy. Ooh, that's an ad. Rip. Let's see what's going on. So we're gonna see Droplets West come out just to get more draws from Oddish. Chronoknight is gonna start trying to push that pressure with Dark Spark Diabolos coming out. No mill from that. Just gonna try to get those 3 points. Because what's great about these is that they're useful. They're both useful. They both can swing consistently for 3 points, as well as have a good amount of health that can kind of consistently use that. Oh gosh. I just need. Okay. Hopefully this will work. Hola. So yeah, Oddish definitely is halfway there. And halfway to the loop and about 2/3 to be able to get the Xemius buff. What in the world did I do? Oops. Here, to give me a moment. I gotta watch and then CCCCG. Because I think I accident. Phew. Darn. Why do I do that? Anyways, G Crash is gonna come out from Oddish, and that is going to burn that out. And Xemius is gonna get a nice boost from Dark Spark with 2 more planets being added through Behemoth and Galaxy Rock getting killed. However, 2 very important cards being Soulstream, which can help regenerate probably not Xemius. Well, it can't generate Xemius, but Soulstream is useful for setting up 2 cardboards, and at least once you get to this point where you could get the Xemius loop going. And you have Point Turret, which is like one of the best activators in the game. Probably not that bad for Oddish if he can get that Xemius consistently going. Obviously, there is going to need to be a ton of stars expended to get the Xemius stuff going, because you have to first play it, or, well, you could mill it with Dark Spark. There's multiple ways to go about it, but ooh, what's this? Oh, abandonment. So that's gonna allow one of those Xemiuses to get into the discard. That is great. Now, Chrono's gonna keep playing aggressive with a Point Turret, which is going to get those 3 points. Actually, no AAA from Oddish. It's probably good to get that out as early as possible, so you don't have to fear losing it to a AAA and then, you know, just stalling the game more, because that's one of the main things about Xemius, is that Xemius really likes to take its time. Now, obviously, you can optimize it by, you know, we're only like 4 turns in and you have this many planets already in the discard, which is good. However, which is good, and well, and there you go. Oddish is going to slow the game down even more with Chronoknights, with Rewind Wormhole. Dang, my tongue cannot speak today. Moving on. we're going to see FaceTime come out to just, again, stall this game even more. Maybe due to Oddish trying to get the second Xemius. There's always that possibility. So that he can begin the Xemius loop. And, yeah, Chronoknight needs to consider how to deal with this, because FaceTime is a really annoying card just because you have to hit it twice, and because there's a Dark Spark as well that just adds more threats, which, by the way, Dark Spark went for 3, making the first couple points of the game for Oddish. Chronoknight's gonna opt to do nothing. We're gonna see the double thing. Double Rewind Wormhole is coming out. That's just gonna send Chronoknight down into the pit. But Beast is gonna come out. That's going to at least save face. But unfortunately, that also means that Chronoknight has set up the Xemius loop. Now, obviously, this is a very optimized and somewhat aggressive play from Oddish right now, being able to set this up this early, which means, you know, that maybe Chronoknight's earlier aggression was not for a lot, and we see Skelequeen and Bongbeak come out to try to not only set up Chronoknight's own loop, which is Skelequeen and Skelgast, but Bombeak's gonna help kind of further do that. I mean, both of these are basically just trying to set up big fat loops, although one is more consistent, being this one. So Oddish definitely seemed to be taking his time for that, thinking about that, which could imply that he has options to stop the attack, but it looks like he's going to allow it to go through for now. 5 points isn't that bad, especially after he's already drained Chronoknight out of his points. I think Rewind Wormhole is a very difficult card to get around. Ooh, yep, here we go. Here comes Xemius. And we're going to see a double Xemius. Yeah, oof. Which is going to apply super duper immense pressure. I mean, this is 8 points potentially if it goes through. Bombeak's going to get the Skelgash into the grave, which is going to be very, very mightily important, because that will help regenerate stuff. But yeah, double Rewind Wormhole, like, one of the hardest parts about this card is trying to figure out when to attack as the person attacking the person with the card, because if you attack too early, then once they get Rewind Wormhole, they can just throw it out and the end. However, even if you try to stall it out and then try to go aggressive, they might have Rewind Wormhole anyway. Like, it's pretty much impossible. You just have to either get it out of the way or wait to face the consequences, I guess. Because they can easily, if they just have both in their hand, they could just throw it out. Now, one thing that you'll notice is Oddish is down to 11 cards already, just due to using Dark Spark and such and such. One of the things about I'd like to mention about Ozokai or the Ozos is you usually run one copy. There's 3 of them. There's a city and one as well. You usually run like only one copy, because all you need to do is you just need to send one out, and then the other one can just appear in your hand, and then once you send the other one out, you can just make the third one come into your hand, and then you can just let these sit until they die. Now, Chronoknight is definitely thinking very hard about this. We don't know what his options are currently with 5 cards in hand. Obviously, there needs to be something happening Wait, that's... And the pressure is definitely going to be difficult. Yeah, this is a difficult position. Especially if you don't have options, which Chronoknight might not have. If Xemius does go through, that's 8 points. Okay, sorry. Also, Oddish, I don't know why both of his counters are down to 0. Should be at 4 right now, right? Surely. Man, Chronoknight's definitely in a pickle at this point. Yeah, Xemius is interesting. I mean, it's definitely the newest thing on the block, the new kid on the block. Sindel's been around for a hot minute. And we're going to see Spirit of the Anti-Justice Sword. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm trying to understand this. So oh, okay. So Chronoknight passed with throwing out Spirit of the Anti-Justice Sword. Oddish just smoothly decided, you know what, screw this. I'm just gonna. Oh my goodness! Look at this. But Oddish decided to just go and just with raw damage. That's gonna allow him to get a single Xemius. But I'm still confused. Why did he go down to 0 points? Or did he not have points? Am I just lying to myself? I don't know. Anyways, Chronoknight sends out spoons, meaning we get this, which is a combo in and of itself. So it might be important to keep these. Yeah, that's a difficult decision. AAA is definitely an important thing. Especially, like, you kind of want to use all of these three. Like, you want something to safeguard you, and then you want something, and like, what to discard, right? Because if you discard AAA, then potentially Oddish could just throw out a beast free. Chrono's going to opt for Kabonk Battle Body in hand, Deep Spice Lighthouse in the discard, which means that he is one less card from, I don't think he'll be able to pull off a double Kabonk Xemius thing. He could only do it once if he gets the other Deep Space. And then the other Kabonk Battle Body could just be used on a Sindel creature. Or what am I thinking? I think yeah, you need both. Anyways, double Xemius still on the board. I think Chronoknight's still in a pickle right now. I mean, Spirit of the Anti-Justice Sword is a very weak move, so he might still be pretty bricked up, not many options. Or maybe he's plotting some master plan to gain advantage. You never know. Oh, Bone Ladder's gonna come out and gonna bring back Skullgas, but actually not gonna go for. Well, that actually makes sense because Skull Queen wouldn't do much. So instead, gonna opt for Bond Beak. here so that he can speed up getting more creatures into the discard for, I don't know, probably Waku to get more draws. And then we're gonna see, oh, Oddish is definitely setting up for some sort of, yeah, so we're gonna see the full crash. Bonbeak is gonna, what did I do? Wacko-Man, right? Yep. So that's the double draw. Chronoknight is on his turn. So we do see the double resource zones here, which means Oddish definitely has not only a battle active but a AAA, which is a bit concerning. Either that or, I don't know, just maybe something, I don't know what else he would have. Maybe a perm, but probably not. Probably not a perm resource, because those are unoptimal. This is, it still seems, Chronoknight still might be in a difficult position at this point. Those draws might have not helped him, which would be very, very unfortunate. He has used both 2 of the 3 battle acties. The only one that he has left can only just stop the attack. Wow, we got the spectator wannabe. Just retire, Oddish. Honestly, scoop to Chronoknight and then retire, right? That's the optimal move, right? So then you can just watch all the streams. Chronoknight's just, yikes. I think 8 points would obviously be pretty bad, but probably not the worst thing. I mean, that's 12 points. One more attack, full swing attack, will set Oddish. It is technically a 2-turn game unless Chronoknight is able to pull something off. Darn. So difficult. One of the other issues is you have to get rid of the Xemius, or else the other Xemius will just appear again. Freaking. Yeah, this game is homemade. Welcome, Team Cloud. Yeah, this is a homemade game. Homemade trading card game. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. You should check it out. Join the Discord. It's in the description. Ooh, we're going to see Phantom Matter come out. And that's going to allow Behemoth to become puppeted by Chronoknight. We're going to see Shiozian Lava Behemoth, which is a very strong card, by the way. But I think there needs to be something else going on here, because just one attack will send it out, obviously. Yeah, but the Xemius will just come back, by the way. Oh, I just forgot that I didn't promote the frick. Give me a moment. Bad. And we're gonna see another behemoth come out from Chronoknight, but that's gonna be smoothly stopped by Planetary Field. No AAAs to combat that. Obviously, still has to kill both of them, which that should be easy. Just a nice stall for Oddish. By the way, the points for Oddish are right here, if you were wondering. And yep, we're just gonna see a full crash. And Universe Boundary is going to. Oh wait, did he not? Hold up. Oh yeah, so Galaxy Wreck is just gonna come out. Just because Behemoth was taken by that, and that would have caused major problems to the loop. Don't see why he did that in particular, but I mean, works. It works. It works. So, as I'm learning, Galaxy Rock can change its planet in the discard. It's kind of wacky. If I'm correct. So, I don't know, Chronoknight just seems to be taking this very seriously. I think it is difficult, definitely. Whoa. Whoa, 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 what? What does that do? So, well, I obviously... that boosts it up, but not really by much of anything. However, well, I see the reasoning behind this. It just allows him to stall these Zemiuses because now they can't hit this 490 guy. Hold up. Oh, that's true. I mean, either way, still has more health than power on this end. So that's something that Oddish has to deal with now. It's going to be hard to remove that. That's one thing that I'm kind of like seeing that. It makes me kind of think about like if the Shape Knights are good, especially the Octorius one with 480 health. Like if that's good, then you know, this gets stalled out, right? However, we are going to see Behemoth come out through Soulshroom, and that's going to be able to get a clean hit on this, as well as Zemius is going to be able to swing for 4 unless there's an answer. No, there is no answer. This feels loud. I think it's fine. We're going to see Battle Body and everything go out. And I think the Sindel creature that was supposed to be brought back by Cerberam was just killed by the Zemius. Or not? Or not. Never mind. Weird. I feel like that's such a waste of a Cerberam. I mean, obviously Chronoknight has plenty of stars to do so. But still, it's just delaying the inevitable, right? It's really difficult when you're playing Xemius to delay yourself, because if you just delay yourself, you're just delaying the inevitable, right? But dang, does Rewind Wormhole make that powerful? Not to say that Rewind Wormhole is the crux of this deck, or not the crux, or the crux of a lot of other decks, because you can beat it even with Rewind Wormhole coming into effect, as you can see from like Secret. Actually, I haven't watched the VOD, but it's probably what happened. Probably attempted to use it and then just utterly failed. Oof. Oh, darn. Chrono scoops the first game. That's a little bit of an unfortunate way to end that one. But obviously, it seems like Chronoknight just did not have any way to stop this. Just gave up just due to the fact that this was a 3-card board with 2 cards being able to be recycled even once he kills them. Galaxy Crash would have been the only minor way to save him in that point. So going into game 2, Chronoknight definitely needs to think a lot about this strategy. And Oddish definitely also has to think about how Chronoknight's going to do this strategy. If it's different, has to adapt. If it's not, then Oddish just needs to keep playing the way he does, as it seems like that's a good method to try to get it out as early as possible. Obviously, it seemed, I think he definitely seemed kind of lucky with those Rewind Wormholes and those activators, like a little lucky. But I think also Oddish just played really well, using his cards really well to just kind of speed up the process to the point where he could get it out like really nice, and like basically in the mid game at that point, like early mid game, he was able to get it out, and then it quickly switched to like late, and then it quickly just switched to like mid game into end game, and then quickly into end game. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see the second game, because again, like Chronoknight just didn't seem to have the answers, so Chronoknight definitely needs to think about that. I think there were a few things that Chronoknight could have done better. It's not to say that Oddish probably didn't fluke, but I think there was things that Oddish did better, and there was ways that Oddish used his deck in a way that was utilized better than what Chronoknight could have. As Oddish was able, obviously there was some luck involved with the cards, but he was able to play in a way that seemed pretty optimal in terms of trying to get the things out so that Xemius just kind of controls. That's why it's called Xemius Control, by the way. Chronoknight, definitely playing aggressively at the beginning is not a bad move, because, I mean, Rewind Wormhole is always just a threat until it is not. So, but like aggression, you know, sometimes it's not the best. I think also probably another thing is if he wants to aggress, he needs to like, darn, it's so hard. It's always so hard. A second deal is the sometimes his card choices were a little underwhelming, like KO. I like KO going on like using that just to try to get rid of 2 weaker cards that were Xemius. I think that was an okay move, but it, like, obviously, like, Chronoknight was trying to speed up his process of getting Sindel cards into the discard, but I don't know if that really would have benefited him either way if he had or hadn't done that. Used the KO there. KO could have been used on Xemius. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, for Chronoknight, especially with a deck that doesn't have as many options for getting around that Xemius, it's going to be important to consider saving those for Xemius. But obviously you don't know. Will Oddish get unlucky with the Xemius? Or and then obviously some of the reason that Chronoknight lost that first game was cards. But overall, it was a good game played by both of them. And game 2's going on a riot. We're just seeing some early game setup. Oddish is not using is setting up a lot of zones early on, which is interesting to me. We're gonna see Behemoth come to hand just because likely he's thinking about the possibility of Xemius getting out here as early as it did this past game. Lots of cards in Chronoknight's hand, by the way. It's kind of crazy. A Spirit of the Anti-Justice Sword is going to go into discard, and Dark Spark's going to go into here. I forgot if Dark Spark is able to get its 3 stars if it's killed from spoons. But anyhow, we're going to see a lot of early zone setup with no dog, which is a little interesting because Chronoknight just really seems to like dog in many cases. Maybe it doesn't have a dog. Both of these guys have a lot of cards, by the way. They've definitely been passing turns very quickly. It'll be interesting to... I'm very, very interested. So, Chronoknight definitely has all these things set up, and now we gotta see the inevitable happen. Ozobam's gonna come out, and that's going to bring in Ozokai. At this point, though, like, if Oddish has this many cards in hand, does he have both Rewind Wormholes? What will Chronoknight ever do? Oh no. By the way, that last game lasted an hour. Holy crap. It lasted an hour. Dang. Time flies. Did it really? Are you kidding me? No, I think it was more like 40 minutes. I don't know, man. Anyways, we're going to see Bonbeak come out. And it's going to crash to be able to use Bonbeak to its fullest. Skull Queen in the discard. Setting up that stuff. Obviously, the Skella combo will be 100 times more useful without Xemius. So, we'll see what happens. Ozokai is going to come out, getting that trifecta. One thing that I'm very, very curious as well is... well, obviously, the Skellas have a weakness of like 80 points of damage, so I wonder how Oddish will react if the Skell combo will get set up. So we're going to see a simple double board maneuver, which actually, yeah, so that probably just be simply because Chronoknight, or Oddish is expecting Chronoknight to get the combo going, so, you know, trying to just wall up the board. However, Chronoknight's going to go for an early Galaxy Crash to just be able to have a nice clear board to get some points in. That's very interesting. And we see a clean Skelligast play. Almost clean, if not 4 turret. But AAA is going to come out. Good for him. Nice clean 6 points. However, this can all be foiled if Oddish just throws out a rewind wormhole, which is always just so excruciating painful. Like, will he throw it out or will he not? And we're gonna see Mole and Ozoblock come out, which is a little bit concerning. Planetary Field is going to release that tension very easily. Good play. It's good that he had that in his hand, or else that would have been pretty dire. Obviously, these things are happening very early, which isn't fantastic for Oddish. Or, sorry, fantastic for Chrono. However, technically speaking, both have only used one Battle Acti. Although, Chronoknight has weakened himself a bit with only one AAA to his name in the deck or in hand. You're going to see a third zone come out. What might this be? Again, one of the things to worry about is whether or not Chrono goes very full aggressive. Oddish can always just use a rewind wormhole. Ooh, but we're actually going to see Kabonk Battle Body come out. Chronoknight's just, again, just like last time, but in a very different way, going to just get that big aggression going. And it's actually just going to use Mole to his advantage. So it's probably a much better aggression instead of just going raw for points. As, oh, and that's going to be a huge in Chronoknight's case, because that gets rid of Beast. That is tough for Oddish. Didn't have Planetary Field, by the way. But we are going to see Mole and Warriors come out, and that's going to just try to get rid of some stuff in his hand. Oddish is going to retaliate with probably even more threats of removal. Obviously, no Planetary Field, so we're going to see actually Erratic Void come out of his hand, and we're actually going to get a peek at his hand, which is looking pretty decent right now. Turret is also in his hand, which is crazy to think about. It's actually kind of scary if you think about it, because that's something that Chronoknight has to be careful of. He has to get rid of this Mole. Obviously that's not that hard, but there's always the threat also of Mole regenerating due to Soul Stream or something. I think Oddish is definitely might be a little bit taken aback. Obviously, this is a form of aggression that is much more... I think probably there's a lot more good card draws. I think Chronoknight's definitely gotten a lot better of card draws in this case. And we're going to see... just Chronoknight keep nailing away, which I think is an okay move. I mean, obviously Oddish just isn't using Rewind Wormhole, or doesn't have Rewind Wormhole, so I think it's pretty safe to just keep whamming at this guy. But obviously every turn Xemius becomes more inevitable. And we're going to see the double rewind wormhole. Yep. There it is. Yikes. Back to 3. All of that for not a lot in the outcome. And Oddish definitely... that slows it down, obviously. But what is Oddish going to do with that? the question. Not all hope is lost, obviously, for Chronoknight, but I mean, definitely burnt through a lot of resources at this point. Not a ton. I mean, again, there's plenty of ways to do this, but if Oddish is able to get rid of these threats and stall for enough time to get the Xemia's stuff going, you know, simple as that. And then we have another problem on our hands. We're seeing it kind of similar, I feel like, but in different ways. Pelthim's going to come out, and that's going to bounce back. This first and second game both saw Chronoknight going very aggressive. First time with raw damage, and this time with just being able to remove threats very tactically and having good cards to do so. So Oddish is going to just be simple and have his Pelthim just sit there and be kind of a threat. Bonbeak not being killed is not fantastic in Chronoknight's case, because that's, you know, just removing Whack-A-Man the option of getting more card draws. So my question is, what's next? Obviously now Chronoknight can pretty much freely do this. I think one thing that helps Chronoknight in this situation is the fact that these two are out early, so it doesn't have to worry about those either. Definitely thinking a lot more about this though, meaning that either he's starting to run out of options, or he just needs, or his options are very split. I mean, obviously we saw Behemoth in there, always an option. We're gonna instead see Darkspark come out and mill some stuff this time. And we're gonna see Whack-A-Man. That's gonna get that extra card draw that he needed from probably Bonbeak or something. However, 2 Abomination Tunes gone. That's just less options for the Skeletal combo to come out. Not that that will matter as much at this point, but we are going to see a 3-card board start to come out. Ooh. 4 points. Not fantastic in the grand scheme of things, but it's still going to be able to give Chronoknight a better upper hand than he did last time. Obviously, this commitment is very. It's kind of. This is kind of a commitment, you know. 3 cards, and one of them being very strong. We're gonna see Field come out, but AAA is just gonna block that, and that's the end of the battle acties. Resource thing going out doesn't really matter at this point. Although, actually, I should mention that Oddish doesn't have that many stars, which is not helpful in his case. Also, the other Kabonk battle body came out, so at this rate, it's going to be important for Chronoknight. Oh, and there goes Galaxy Crash. That's going to clear the board. It's going to be very, very critical. It's going to be it's going to be so incredibly critical that Chronoknight will this is just like he's losing options left and right. It's going to be critical that the Xemius does not come out. Darkspark's going to come out though. We're going to see some pretty bad mills actually. 2 Soul Shrooms, not going to help with regurgitation of already dead creatures. Cosmic Creator, interesting card. Don't know why that's there. Behemoth is a strong card, which is not great for him. We're going to see Turret come out. kind of wacky that it's going to be used on Dark Spark, in my opinion. It just doesn't seem like the best decision, in my opinion. But nonetheless, it'll function. We're going to see Bone Ladder. Skull combo time. Ba-da-doom. Uh-oh. And is that going to be it? Or, yes. We're going to see another Skeleton Queen come out. And we're going to see, I think Chronoknight knows. I think Chronoknight knows that he is just about unstoppable in terms of his attacks. So, I mean, yeah, this is good. 3-card board. Again, continuing to apply pressure. This is something that I think, besides using dogs, I think this is something Chronoknight really likes to do. Setting up 3-card boards just to wall out your opponent with just a lot. However, Oddish is going to bring out Xemius. Gonna get rid of those queens very easily because, again, one of their main weaknesses is their lack of output in health. One thing that I'm a little sad about for Skeleton Queen is like you have it and it's like 400 power and it's like, oh my goodness, so good. And like, of course, 80 health, you know, it's all weak and whatever. Shockwave A is going to come out, which means Xemius is going to be permanently out until we see the stuff. Oh, is this game? I think this is game. Oh, yeah, okay. So game 2 goes to Chronoknight, which is actually, this is actually ending up a lot like, so yeah, this is going to tie that up just like the previous Swiss round games that we saw. We saw Oddish and Chronoknight play a Swiss round game, and that was 2-1 Oddish. But will it be different this time? Let's find out. Obviously, there is the stark chance that Oddish just did not have good options in that one. Another reason, though, that Chronoknight probably won was just there was a lot of good plays there. It was good that he was able to get those battle acties out, and like also the rewind wormholes, just to be able to, like, once those things came out, and all of them came out, that was just helpful in Chronoknight's case, because then he didn't have to deal with those threats and he could just go. And Oddish's lack of optimization and setting up the Xemius definitely hurt his chances of winning a lot. And Chronoknight being able to apply lots of pressure while Oddish was still continuing to struggle trying to set up the combo, that definitely helped Chronoknight in that case. So it's going to be interesting to see this final game all play out. We know that Chronoknight sided Erratic Void as well as Shockwave 8, which both of those things are going to be are also very good ways of dealing with Xemius. So even if Oddish is able to get the Xemius thing out, I'm very curious if Chronoknight's going to have the answers to out Oddish in this sense. The sideboard might come in real handy at this point. And in Oddish's case, again, it's just mostly about, I think the first game he had a good game plan that I think would work still, where it's trying to get the Xemius stuff set up as quickly as possible while also trying to maintain a good board presence, which he did very, very well with the first game. In the second game, he definitely seemed to be struggling. So again, don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm very, 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 very. I keep saying very. I don't know, man. I'm curious. Third place would be huge for Chronoknight. And for Oddish, it would also be very, very... Oh my goodness, I said very, very again. Oh, and I said it again. Great. My very, very... Oh. Those two words have, like, gotten amassed in this entire stream. Like, I've said them, like, 15 times or something. I don't know, man. That's what it feels like. Yeah, this is good. This is good. I'd like to promote, what would I like to promote? I would like to promote Mouse CG. Really cool guy. You should check him out. I don't have any links, but just type Mouse CG in YouTube and you'll find some like epic things going on. Hold up. Oh, that doesn't help me. Shoot. I was trying to figure out who went first for the first game, or who went second, technically. First and second. So yeah, going into this game, all just comes down to skill, wit, and the draw of the cards. That's all I can really say. I mean, I feel like that's all I could really say for the grand finals, which we're going to see like basically the best people playing Kaya's Galaxy right now play. That's going to be one heck of a battle. I mean, we've seen it like hundreds of times before, I feel like. But that'll be epic. This one, however, very interesting. Might have to change this. I think I'm gonna... We're going to see Droplet Squads, an early Droplet Squad from Oddish. And that's going to... But then we see Spirit of the Anti-Justice Sword come out to deal with that. Mole, though, is going to put a wrinkle in that. Obviously, Planetary Field. No surprise there. He either has it or it doesn't have it. Oddish is actually... thinking about this. We do see AAA. Oddish is betting on Chronoknight having another one, which is going to be Erratic Void. It's helpful that it wasn't a Battle Acti. Kind of played similar to what happened with Mole, but we do see the AAA kind of help solidify that. Oddish is definitely having a light upper hand in this early stages. Shiozi and Lava Mole was a good way to just put a wrinkle in Chronoknight's trying to attempt to get rid of this. I almost feel like it could have been better if Droplet just stayed out there for a bit. Obviously, chip damage isn't fantastic. And especially if Mole is just going to sit out here, like, that just speeds up the process that Droplet Squads was doing. Not helpful. Oh. We're going to see Mole attack again. Holy crap. I'm actually a little concerned for Chronoknight now. Unless there's a evil plan plotting. Mwahaha. That might be what's happening. We do see 2 creature zones. Dark Spark's gonna come out. A clean hit on Mole. Ooh, but we're just gonna see another Dark Spark come out. I think one interesting thing about Dark Spark is how it can hit another Dark Spark. We're gonna see a really good mill in this case at this point. That's gonna get 3 of these guys out. And although Rewind Wormhole is a bit of a blemish, this just speeds up the process to get Xemius out, which is probably the better instead of just stalling. Especially because in this case, Chronoknight has not gained a single point, and Oddish is at a clear advantage. So I think Rewind Wormhole isn't really a bad thing in this case for Oddish being discarded. Plus, there's always another one just to foil anything that Chronoknight might do. It is unfortunate because it seems like Chronoknight's just getting a slow start on this, not having the options to go play aggressively and to apply a lot of the pressure, which is something that he definitely had in the first 2 games. Or maybe he's playing very tactically, just because he feels like there's a need to get things, to keep things careful. Dark Spark's gonna try to hammer away at the planet, but Beast is going to come out for that. Not the most, I'd say probably not the most glamorous thing to happen. But nonetheless, let us continue. We're gonna see Skull Queen come out as a retaliation from Chronoknight. 4 points. Simple, easy, awesome. I will say Oddish is kind of threatening with all these cards in his hand, as you can see. Kaleidoscope Warriors is going to come out so that potentially the Kabak Battle Body gets thrown. And then lots of stars for doing this, and that's just going to bring out Xemius. Oddish is definitely having the cards to just start playing aggressively, which is extremely helpful in this case. Oh, yikes. Look at this. Chronoknight's hand is not doing well. Yikes. Obviously, Ghast in here can set up the Kondo, but what does that matter with Xemius in here? And, not to mention, we're almost to the fully complete roundabout, the cycle, the never-ending cycle. Oddish is in a super duper good position. Dang, I've been using a lot of descriptive words and like using them in like pairs of 2 or 3. We are gonna see the Skull combo come out just to try to ease the worries. Hold up. Oh, wait. I'm confused. Because 6 planets does not equal 7 dead cards. Could someone explain for me? Anyways, Xemius is gonna come out anyway. If Chronoknight gets a second erratic, that will be helpful in his case. I think overall though, what Chronoknight's just not doing hot in the grand scheme of themes. Not a ton of options, it seems like, according to his hand that was revealed. There's just a lot of things not great about this position for Chrono. And Oddish has just been able to pop off, like in game 1, with the optimization of this. The Xemius loop has come into full effect, and getting another Xemius out would be crazy. Yeah, 6 planets equals 440, 440, but I don't know why Skelequeen was able to hit this, because there were 7 planets here. I don't know, man. Soulshroom is going to come out, and that's going to bring this out. This is going to not be, again, this is going to be really unoptimal. Oh, there's 2 Kabonk's battle bodies in Chronoknight's hand, as well as an Abomination Tomb. Gonna get rid of the Abomination Tomb. I think Chronoknight's just really vying for a deep space lighthouse. He really, really wants to get one of those, set up a combo and get Xemius, probably is likely what he wants. Although I'm unsure if Xemius will keep its buffs if taken over. Not that it will matter, by the way, because I mean, he could still get four points just by using Sindel to gain 30 power and health. We're gonna see Whack-A-Man and Dark Spark sit here. Gonna get rid of everything except for Xemius, obviously. Yikes. I'm still have a feeling that Chronoknight is in the best position. Whack-A-Man is going to try to get him out of this hole. Get some more card draws. Yeah, we're gonna see Oddish think pretty decently hard about this. Gonna use Phantom to get a Skelequeen and gonna clear the board just like that. I feel like Phantom Matter is just a very good, I mean, obviously it's a good card, it's half banned, but it just always seems great when you're trying to preserve your stars, which in this case Oddish had 7, so you know, preserving that is just so helpful in this game. Star economy is so good. It's so good. And I think Chronoknight's going to be thinking for a good minute on this. Obviously, it seems like his options are very limited unless he gets the Deep Space Lighthouse. Then if he does, he has to think about how he's going to use that effectively. Oh, and we just see a measly pass. However, Pointer's gonna come out. This is going to squeeze a bit of points out of Oddish. Oddish still does get one of those attacks. It's probably one of the biggest weaknesses with Pointer is that you can only block one attack and gain the points from one attack. We're gonna see Dog come out. Gonna kill that Skeleton Queen, at least to just get that minor threat out of the way. But if Oddish has that second Xemius, it might become and this might be game at here. In fact, this might be more than game just because, oh, yep, we're going to see a 3-card board just to try to solidify the end. Yep, and that's a GG. Oddish is going to take third in this situation, and, man, that was good. The nature is still in balance. Yikes. It wasn't a bad game by any means. I think they both played very well. The only blemish was probably just especially for game 3. For game 3, it was mainly Chronoknight's inability to get those cards. I think that was a very big thing, as well as Oddish's. I think one of the things about Chaos Galaxy in many card games, in fact, is that no matter how well you play, sometimes your deck just you don't get the stuff that you need, while your opponent gets everything that they need, and then it just all goes downhill. Obviously, there is some skill factor. You know, sometimes you just don't make the right decision. You know, there's things like that. But definitely that third game had a lot to do with Chronoknight's inability to get the steam rolling, especially early. And as I predicted, Rewind Wormhole didn't really matter in that point because, I mean, think about it. Oddish was able to aggress really, really early on in that third game. Same was with the first game. He was able to aggress fairly early. Now, I can't take everything, obviously, to the luck of the draw. But still, I think it's vitally important to think about that as one of the key aspects to winning a game, is being able to get the cards. And that's why it's so important to deck build correctly, because if you don't, then you might not get the stuff. And I think that's also something that Chronoknight's deck struggles with a little bit more, just because Chronoknight wants to put in that extra little creative side, which was the Kabak Battle Body plus Deep Space Lighthouse, or just using the Battle Body on Sentinel creatures. You know, those things. It's a good idea, but one of the issues is that optimization, because you have to get both of them, and if one of them gets discarded in some way before using it, or if you just don't get it, then obviously that's going to put a foil in your plans. So there's definitely that part. I think obviously Xemius has an easy time once you get Xemius, which again, well, and we saw that with how the games were played out. The second game, Oddish lost mainly due to Xemius not being able to get out as optimally as needed. That was definitely a huge part, and it just shows kind of how Xemius can run the game. It is a control deck for a reason. Anyways, good games. Good games. Mush would have appreciated how I played around Gast. Yeah, Gast. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that was. Oh yeah. That was huge. That ending play just kind of stung. Definitely want to see Chronoknight do well at some point, though. I mean, if Lue can win, then Chronoknight can win. I don't know what that means, but you know. Anyways, the reign of the big three continues. Oddish is in third. I think, well, it's interesting because if we look at SBR, which let me pull that up, by the way. Todd Turney. No, okay, wait. Because if we look at SBR, I don't know. Now I'm just starting to do whatever, honestly. Okay, so if we look at SBR, well, because we see currently that Secret's on top and Oddish is in third. Because, it's just interesting. So, actually, Secret was the best in 2021. 2022, Oddish was the best. And Secret and everything. And now... So I think they've all kind of had their place as kings, except for Fish. Fish is a really great player, but hasn't topped SBR. Not yet. Probably because somewhat due to his inconsistency. I think. I mean, look at this. 2 games. And then 4 games. Look at that. 4. Wait. What the? Oh, there. 4 games. That's not helpful in his case. I mean, not gonna lie. Probably if he had played like these games or like this game, I don't know, like 2 or 3 more games, he probably would have been better than Diamond. Just because early on, like, look at this. He had some very good stuff. I think also somewhat the format kind of burnt people out. That's probably why he was so bad in this one. I mean, because like Lueg popped off over here. Secret was, yeah. Like Lueg popped off, but like if Fish had kept on going through these tournaments and B, like done well, probably could have topped 3 in SBR. Not that SBR really matters. I mean, it's a good like statistic on stuff, but it's hard because you want people to play actively, right? And well, the deal is that Fish winning twice in a row is very important, because if he wins 3 times in a row, I mean, that puts him in a good position against in terms of topping Secret, because he definitely had a late start in this point. Yeah, and Lueg kind of dropped off, which is unfortunate. Hopefully he'll be back for the next tournament. Next tournament or whatever. Sword's been doing pretty well. Popped off over here. Yeah. Good stuff. Alright. I am going to head off for the night. I got a video tomorrow to finish. I have plenty of school crap to do. And I have... I don't know. Maybe I'll stream. Thanks for watching. Remember, happiness is a warm puppy. See you guys